feeling myself, but I stay in my lane. I know you thinking you nice, but you sounding the same. He need to switch up his flow, but I know that he ain't. Maybe he want to and probably can't. He talk a lot, but ain't saying a word. He's 16, sounding like he be lacing his herb. Reggie Rock told me time to just focus and spit. Quit worrying about the niggas abandoning shit. I dropped broken and they told me quit biting your tongue. The way you writing sounded like you forgot where you from. Say you from the hood, but you sound like a minister now. Yeah, I could take it there, but shit, I just like how this sound. I should address some of this drama, but letting it go. Shit, I can't keep playing with you niggas, I'm getting too old. The last words Bone told me I never forget. Quit playing with this music and do it to death. Shit, I came back.
You're now watching the End of the Bench podcast, Build and Destroy, hosted by your man, H-Rap B. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. It's your man, H-Rap B, coming at you live and direct. It is a pleasure broadcasting once again. Thank you. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's important that you do all of the above. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, that like. If you're watching on Facebook, do the same. You can also go and subscribe to www.theendofthebench.com. www.theendofthebench.com helps me tremendously, continues to help the brand grow. Please share, hit that like, hit that share. It ain't gonna cost you anything. It's just gonna help me, help you, help me. Now, with that being said, I want to send a shout out to everybody who's in the chat room, everybody who's in the chat room. I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. That's what happens when you do a live broadcast. It's important that you do that. As I was saying, there's a live broadcast. Technical difficulties from time. Please bear with them. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that share, tune in, tell a friend too. As I was stating at every program, I sent a shout out that brought me here. Okay, hopefully those technical difficulties are And I'm back. And I'm back. Folks, you're dealing with the internet. You have technical difficulties. I apologize. Please bear with me. I don't know what's going on. Shout out to AT&T for the excellent service. Now, as I was saying, I want to thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend and tune in. I see people coming in and coming out. And please bear with me. I don't know what it is with the technical difficulties tonight, but I'm having them. Therefore, what we're going to do is bear with me. And then, you know what I'm doing is pre-recording all my broadcasts, so we won't have this, and I can just upload the broadcast that I wanted to do, and I would just participate in the chat room as I speak. Been thinking about doing that anyway. Looks like I'm going to have to. Now, as I say every week, thank you for tuning in. Tell a friend to tune in. This is HRB. This is Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up the community and destroy the propaganda and nonsense that surrounds our community. Have an interesting program. We're going to stop dealing with propaganda. We're going to stop allowing other people to dictate what we are and how we deal with things. And the most important thing we're going to deal with today is I'm going to address 12 jewels. 12 jewels. This is an Islamic principle, and I think it can be beneficial to anyone and everyone in our community, because these are things that are paramount in our communities. Some of these things are lacking, I believe. So if you see something that's lacking, either you continue to watch and point the finger and say no, 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 or you reach out, lend a hand, and move forward and make things more pliable so you can elevate and educate versus criticize and demean. That's what we're going to do today. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that share again. Subscribe. I need everybody to subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Now, one of the things, like in the title of the show, Build and Destroy. I'm going to build up. The goal is to build the community and destroy the lies and the propaganda surrounded by the community, correct? Right. What I want to do is this. I want to put us in a situation to whereas dividing, we're going to do away with this concept of divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is a principle that has been running rampant in our community since the Europeans docked their boats and brought some of our brothers here by force. And there was already people here. And when they took the land, they started this mission of divide and conquer. It was light and dark. It was fat and skinny. It's rich and poor. And we continue to divide. We do our own thing, north, south, east, west. We continue to do these things. And what we have to do is get rid of those principles. We must get rid of those principles. One of the biggest principles that I find today is ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves, and international Africans throughout the United States of America and the Americas themselves, the Western Hemisphere. Why am I concerning myself? Because this is an important portion. When you attach yourself to a label like minority, you're doing yourself an injustice. That means minor. Minor is a child. A child, it means you don't have the capability of running your own affairs. We don't have that issue. We have the capability of conquering and attacking anything that comes our way. We've been doing it for hundreds of years now. So what I want us to do is stop listening to other people. Look, we are the difference. And you and somebody from the Caribbean and somebody from South America or Central America that looks exactly like you is literally the point of a finger. The point of a finger. Imagine yourself. Take yourself back in time. So back in the day when our grandparents used to, shout out to my man Justin, it's good to see you, brother. Shout out to TC, shout out to April, and my man Kirby, and everybody else who was in here, who left, who was in it, who was left due to the technical difficulties. Thank you guys that you showed up late, and then you don't have to deal with technical difficulties. Now, what I want to do is this. Take yourself back in time. Well, imagine this. You and your cousins are all having a sleepover at your grandparents' house. These are things that used to happen back in the day. I don't know if they're still doing these things, but bear with me. Walk with me. Walk through this journey with me. What I want you to do is realize this. You and 5, 6, 8 of your cousins are in a van with your grandfather, and he's taking you to the road. He doesn't really know where you live. Your parents dropped you off, right? And this is how you get home. Granddad, we live over here. And you point there. That's where we live, Granddad. And he pulls up in front of your house and drops you off. Cousin, the oldest cousin, let's just say 14-year-old cousin. And then the next cousin comes along, 8-year-old cousin, then 6-year-old cousin, then 5-year-old cousin, then 12-year-old cousin. And you're just pointing to the houses that you live in. That's the difference in you and someone who's of African descent, who lives in the Caribbean, who's from Cuba, who's from South America, who's from Central America, who's from Barbados, and so forth and so on. So when we separate ourselves, I'm not this, I'm not that, or they do it to other races, I'm not black, I am this. At the end of the day, you are what you are. See the difference in you. Let's not look at the leaves on the tree. I'm not an apple tree. I'm not a pear tree. I'm not a banana tree. But the root and all of those things is tree. You are a tree. And what we do is we separate ourselves when we use the definitions that are given to us by our oppressors. Today will be heavy into the oppressor. Our oppressors tell us this. They say, hey, you are American, but when you claim America, they separate you from America. You're African American, you are Caribbean American, you are Jamaican American, you're Cuban American, you're Central American. But at the end of the day, we all are what we are. We are Africans. We continue to separate ourselves and say, it's big me, little you. When if you look around the world, there are more people with this pigmentation than any place else in the world. And then I have friends who are world travelers and they've gone to other cultures and they've experienced other things. And what do they say? Well, it's not like that anywhere else but America. It's good to believe that, and that may be your experience, but the reality of the situation is this. The reality of the situation is this. There is no place on the face of the earth that is controlled by white nationalism, that is controlled by white privilege, that the darker you are, the better off you are. That's why the number one selling product on earth is skin bleaching. Skin bleaching cream is the number one product. It is shameful. They've made it shameful to look like the way you came out of your mother's body. So if it's not a racial thing, why is it that everybody in every corner of the world, we are looking to get lighter? If you're black, no, that's, or you get foolish statements like, you're cute to be a dark person. We are light skinned and we're privileged. You have people in other factions of the world that the lighter you are, the better you are in society. If it wasn't that way, it wouldn't be that way worldwide. There is not a country, or as they establish it, a civilized country on this planet that what the darker you are outside of Africa, maybe, the darker you are, the better off you are. That doesn't exist outside of Africa. Why is it that more than 40% of the people who were captured and brought to this hemisphere of the world are in Brazil, and they even have a class system there? The darker you are, you're not black, you are this, and you're lighter, and the lighter you are, the better off you are. See, this is divide and conquer. This allows you to be separate or different from others, and this is what we must put an end to. See, it's easy for us to sit around and say, oh man, I don't believe in that. See, I'm not African, I'm American. Well, guess what? Canadians are American too. You ever thought about that? You call yourself an American citizen, but you're actually a United States citizen, because Canada is in North America. Mexico is in North America, but you never call yourself a Mexican, do you? This is what they call themselves by your root. The root is American. They don't calling yourself Spanish. Spanish is a language. It's not even a culture, unless you're from Spain. I'm Spanish. Well, I thought you were from Mexico. I am. So you're Mexican. See, these are the things that we get caught up in, this verbiage, and we get trapped into this nonsense and foolishness, and we fall right into the nonsense and the foolishness of the world instead of using our own brains to think for ourselves. The greatest trick of, again, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, the greatest trick of capitalism is to make you believe you're thinking when you're not thinking at all. You're not thinking at all. You just regurgitate. I heard this, and then I'm gonna process it, and I'm gonna let it sit. And then when the topic comes up, I'm gonna repeat it. But you really didn't think about it because you were told that thing, as my friend April says in the chat room, the programming. You've been programmed to believe certain things and certain ideologies, and then when it's time to repeat them, you like a computer, and the computer's programmed after your brain. But because when you hit triggers, your memory comes. When you hit triggers, the computing memory comes up. So forth and so on. But we must stop this divide and conquer thing. I'm not going over that with those Africans. Oh, the Jamaicans. I went to Jamaica and they live in such poverty. They live in such abject poverty. And this group and that group, and they don't like us. Excuse me. When someone tells you, well, you know, Africans don't like us. It's over 1 billion people on the continent of Africa. Did someone that I know nothing of go door to door, tap on shoulder to shoulder and say, hey, do you like black people in America? Guess what? They may not even know what black people in America are. I've never had a poor interaction with someone from the continent of Africa. Do I know? Am I ignorant enough or obtuse enough to believe that all Africans gonna run up to me and be like, yo, rap, you're the man, love you, bro? Nope, I'm not stupid enough to believe that. I don't believe that foolishness. Nah. No, I'm not. I wouldn't even present that to you. But guess what? It's some people over here that were born here in the United States of America that look just like me that don't like black people. Yeah, some of them, at one point in my life, I called them my friends. Some of them might even be tuning in now, don't even realize they hate themselves because they do everything they can to separate. You're from over there. Like in Chicago is real bad. We got this Civil War, South Side versus West Side. But it takes me back to school days when Samuel Jackson said this one line, y'all N-words just like us. And guess what? Everybody outside of Chicago, they think the South Side is crazy. Newsflash, people who are not in Chicago or not from state of Illinois or not from Cook County, when you live in Chicago or Cook County, you think the people who are connected to H-Rap is crazy. The West Side of Chicago, those people crazy. Y'all think the South Side crazy. The South Side think the West Side people crazy. So again, we are buying into our oppressors' propaganda, and then we wonder why we keep getting kicked in the behind. We wonder why we keep getting kicked in the behind. We keep getting kicked in the behind because we standing in front of the behind kicking machine, putting quarters in it, bending over, putting more quarters in, and then we wonder why our behinds are sore. These are the things that we must stop. We must stop doing these things because in order for their foolishness to continue, what we have to do is allow it to continue. How do we allow it to continue? We must stop. For one, this is one of the most important things in the fight. We must stop funding our oppression. We must stop funding our oppression. How do we fund our oppression? We fund our oppression in 1,000,005 different ways. This is one of the ways that we fund immediately, just right off the top. A lot of us have this app called Tubi. Oh man, there's a lot of low budget movies on there, a lot of independent filmmakers and things of that nature. They get their stuff on their rap. You can't be tripping on Tubi, but yes, I can. When I was growing up, there were 4 major networks: NBC, CBS, ABC, WGN. When you lived outside of Chicago, WGN was what was called a superstation. And that's a station that is broadcast. That's why the Chicago Cubs have so many fans, because they were broadcasted on what is called a superstation. Now, since that, what happened was WFLD, which later became Fox, is a Fox affiliate. And then what happened was when they said, you know what, Rupert Murdoch started purchasing up all these independent stations, and he created the Fox network. And what did they do? They had this thing called Small Wonder, which is a little white girl was pretending to be a robot, and it slowed up. Then they got married with children. And guess what happened? Fox said, oh, Ken and Ivory Wayans, you have a great show. Bam, we're going to put you on there. All of a sudden, what happened? All the brown eyes, they went straight to Fox. We got some brothers on TV. Bam, we know Ken and Ivory Wayans. We from I'ma Get You Sucker. Ken and Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend, Chicago native. They directed Raw. Oh, wow. They roll with Eddie Murphy. They were called the Black Pack at that point. So back then, somebody black on TV, the whole community, we forced to it. All of a sudden, that's why you have if you didn't know, for those who don't know, Sunday's the Super Bowl. If you don't know, you know why the Super Bowl halftime show is so big? Because Ken and Ivory Wayans and the Living Color crew did their own halftime party, and everybody stopped watching the Super Bowl for 35, 40 minutes and went right to Fox and watched Ken and Ivory, then right back to the Super Bowl. And they said, ho, we can't have that no more. So now we're gonna make the halftime of the Super Bowl a big event. Oh, Just guess what? It was black guys that did that. Black people over-index. I've said this on my show before. Black people over-index on what we call television. We over-index on that, and that's why they call it the soap operas and things like that, because they sell product, they sell soap, they sell a cleaning material, so forth and so on. Allow me to digress. So when you have that, you got a billion, you got 25, 30, 40 million black people loving Keenen Ivory, loving Damon Wayans, loving Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson and that whole crew, and we was loving that. And what did they do? They built an empire. All of a sudden, oh, we're going to get Martin. And then we're going to have Living Singles. And then we're going to have a New York Undercover. And now Fox is a and overnight, it seems, it wasn't overnight clearly, but overnight it seems that Fox became a major player in the television game. Wow. Fox is on point like trick dice. Check it out. And guess what they did? They got all this money. And guess what they did? They became a super player. How did they become a super player? Because they took all that money from Keenen Ivory Wayans, all that money from Martin, all that money from Living Singles, all that money from New York Undercover, and they outbid CBS for the NFL. Bam! Now we're a player. And then they became Fox News, and then they do everything they can to denigrate our community and make us look bad. Everything that they get black people on there to lie. Jason Whitlock, and I ain't even gonna go in. Excuse me for saying his name. I promised myself I would never say his name on air, but they got other people caping for white nationalism. We call them the C word. We call them bootlickers. We call them all these names. I'm not going to insult any more black people as long as I can. But you got people doing that, right? So, oh man, we can't support Rupert Murdoch. And now you got 90210, and then all those white shows showed up, and now they one of the major players. Why is that important? Because now we ain't supporting no Fox News. I ain't watching no Fox News. I ain't supporting Rupert Murdoch. It ain't no good. I might watch a football game, right? That's how we get out, right? And I'm not, no judgment, because guess who watch football? Yeah, man. Guess where the Bears play? On Fox. So don't think I'm judging you, but I'm just saying this is how the community moves, because contrary to popular belief, when we have an opportunity to move in the same direction, we will move in the same direction. When it's a movement versus a moment, what's the difference in a movement and a moment? Sacrifice. A movement involves sacrifice. A moment just gets you. A movement is the NAACP, the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Panther Party, self-defense. A moment is the 65 riots. You ever notice every 28 years it's a riot? 65 riots, 93 riots, Rodney King, George Floyd, 28. This is off the top of my head. Fun fact. Don't ask me how I know it. It's just things that just stay in my head. Now, we made them rich. We funded our oppression. Now we are on the precipice of racial unrest. We see it every day, but we don't acknowledge it. We need to start embracing it. Why am I talking about this? Because here's another opportunity. We go to Tubi. Oh man, Tubi be looking out for the independent people. Tubi be looking out, man, because they don't want to put our shows on TV. You know what I'm saying? They be tripping, man. Yo, rap, you can't get out on Tubi, but guess what? Tubi is owned by Rupert Murdoch. So we ain't watching TV like we used to because people streaming. Because I ain't finna pay for this high cable bill, high giraffe butt. I ain't doing all that. I'm finna get me a Fire Stick. I'm finna get me this. I'm finna get me that. And I'm gonna pay for a couple streaming services. And bam, here we go. Tubi's the thing. Man, the movies be whack, but some of them be good, rap. Yep. And guess what? That's why I pulled up this. Mansa. This is a Black-owned entity that has the same kind of program on them. Let you see some of these programming. This is Black-owned. And this is what we need to have. Y'all see these shows? Toxic. Same thing, man. Look. They even got right there in the left-hand corner closest to my face. Right there. You can see it right there. Right where my hand is. Bass Reeves, Lawman. That's brand new. These are our programs being streamed by our services, and it's FREE free. This is where we need to be putting our bread at, right there. This is where we need to be putting our eyes at. This is how we support our uprising versus our oppression. So then all of a sudden, all of us go to Tubi. Tubi.net, go to Mansa, phonetically spelled Mansa. Mansa. And guess what? We get our own joints, we get our own movies, we get our own get downs, and bam, we are supporting our uprising. Because then, if my man Walk, shout out to my man Walk, big ups to you, you know, it's all good to see you, man. West House in the house all day, every day, my man. Got to do that, man. It's my buddy, and we've been friends since 1984, 40 years now. These are the movies that we need to be supporting. So if we can go to Tubi, then we can go here. It's free, just like it's the same situation as Tubi, but it's ours. We must stop funding our oppression. See, this is how we get out of this. You know what? Let me blow it up on the screen. I'm gonna blow up on the screen. I'm gonna take myself. And there we go. I'm back. Mansa, just like my girl TC, she in the building. Mansa, just like that. You see that on the bottom of the screen, right there, right there. Oop, right there. That's how you spell it. So this is how we gonna support ourselves. This is how we stop getting kicked in the head. This is how we slow down the oppressive train. And I'm gonna show y'all this video. I'll be back shortly, and this video will help you also. This is how, you know, they use our terminology, things like woke and things like that. They use those things against us. We're going to stop allowing them to use those things against us, because those things are rooted in our history. They are part of our emancipation. They are part of our upliftment, our independence. So we're going to stop letting other people determine how we speak, when we speak, and what we speak. I'll be back shortly. Check this video out. Thank you for tuning in. This H Rap. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend, and tell a friend, tune in, share.
The history of the word woke, and why is it now a bad word? Today we're going to find out. Before woke evolved into an all-encompassing term to describe left political ideology, or for shorthand for people on the left in general, or even worse, weaponized as a soft N-word. But before 2014, the phrase woke and stay woke was simply a call for African Americans to be on the lookout or be careful in a system that was created to be unjust. The concept of wokeness can be traced back to the early 20th century and a call to action by Jamaican philosopher and social activist Marcus Garvey. In 1923, Marcus Garvey called for global Black citizens to wake up Ethiopia, to wake up Africa. This call to action aimed to foster social and political awareness, and one of the earliest known examples of wokeness as an idea of Black consciousness waking itself up. A few years later, 1938, the phrase "stay woke" turned up in a song about the Scottsboro Boys, a protest song by blues musician Hughie Ledbetter, aka Leadbelly. The song chronicles the unjust trial and conviction of 9 Black African American teenagers in Scottsboro, Alabama in 1931, who were wrongfully accused of raping 2 white women. Leadbelly said that he met the Scottsboro defendant's lawyer and introduced him to the men himself. When I made this little song down there, Leadbelly says, I also advise everybody to be a little careful when they go down there, and it's best to stay woke and keep your eyes open. Leadbelly uses the phrase "stay woke" as a symbol of African Americans' need to stay aware of the dangers of white America and the racial motivations that they face. This use became the most common and most consistent use of the phrase ever since. 1962, the New York Times published an article by Black novelist William Melvin Kelly entitled "If You Woke, You Dig It." No Mickey Mouse can be expected to follow today's Negro idiom without hip assist. Kelly's piece discussed the origins of the beatnik culture and language, such words like cool and dig, and highlighted the fact that these terms did not originate with white America, but with Black jazz musicians. He argued that to understand language in this culture, one needed a hip assist from African American culture. Kelly's article discusses the ever-changing nature of Black American vernacular and the importance of preserving it from exploitation or alteration by white people. Given that this is the earliest mainstream reference of the term woke, is an opinion piece that warned against the habit of white Americans appropriating Black vernacular. In a way, it seems that the word even predicted its own fate. Today, of course, the word woke and its derivatives, such as politically correct, social justice warrior, cancel culture, have been adopted by conservative groups to insult people on the left. The phrases have become so negatively charged, they've been labeled as skunk terms. This has led to people abandoning their use, as the malicious intent of those words have made them so unpleasant that they can't be employed in their original context. February 3rd, 19.
I'm not even gonna show that. I don't have time to show that. I'll show it another time. And thank you for tuning in. This is H Rap. As you see, when they use our terminology, they turn it on its head. This is why, I spend time on Twitter from time to time. I promote, I interact with people who talk about things. I talk about Black empowerment, hip hop music, hip hop culture, sports, jokes. I'm on there all the time. It's a fun, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm not gonna lie. And what I need to do is figure out they need to have an app so I could do this Black Twitter and this Black owned variation of Twitter and I could just tweet at the same time and then it all comes back to me. They used to have that with this other app. They need to bring it out. Whoever are software creators, I need you to do that so I can support the Black one and stay on X and then build up my following on X and then I continue to survive. It's possible. Somebody get on it. Now, the reason I just showed you that woke thing is because they use our terminology against us. They make us feel as if slang or our own international, our own national vernacular is a bad thing. Oh man, you can't be talking like that because, it ain't professional. But I'm not in a professional setting, so I'm using the vernacular that I use at home. The people who I'm around, they use this vernacular, so I will continue to use it. I can take myself back to 40 years ago. 8th grade teacher, she used to call it the Black dialect. It's okay to be who you are. When we are in a professional setting, we're gonna speak professionally. We are in a social setting, we'll speak socially, and it is what it is, and that's just the way it goes. Now, what I'm going to continue to do is talk about this. We must stop. The first part was we must stop allowing people to get us to finance our oppression. Cool. That is exactly what we need to do. We can no longer finance our oppression because it's doing us no good. If you are going to complain about lack thereof, you cannot continue to put money in the people's hand who forces you into a lack thereof situation. It's easy. It's simple. It's the easiest way to stop oppression. Point blank, period, end of story. That's it. That's all. And I want us to get out of that. And then the best way for us to get out of that is this. We must. There is no way around it. That we cannot substitute it. There is no shortcut to it. We must stop accepting scraps from the boss. His table. We can no longer have the dominant society just hand feeding us scraps and letting us believe, hey man, that's a piece of a filet mignon. It's just as good as a filet mignon. No, it's not. If you give me a piece of a filet mignon, you're not giving me what I deserve. You're not giving me what I have earned. You're giving me a piece of quality, but that is not quality. You cannot let me have Mercedes-Benz doors or Mercedes-Benz grill and put it on a Chevy Impala. Sorry, it doesn't work that way, but it's just like a Mercedes. No, it is not. It constitutes a Mercedes. No, it does not. It is a Chevy Impala dressed up to be that. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because shout out to our brother, Killer Mike. Killer Mike swept up Grammys the other night. Here's the thing. Your man H-Rap ain't watched the Grammys since the late 80s. Since Rhythm Nation. Yeah. Since before whatever the album Janet Jackson had out before Rhythm Nation. That was the last time I paid attention to the Grammys. I think Lionel Richie or Whitney Houston won all the Grammys that night. I don't have anything against Lionel Richie or Whitney Houston. Shout out to those. But rest in peace to Whitney and shout out to Lionel. But here's the thing. 1989, first person to get a Grammy, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Y'all know him as Will Smith now. I'm going to call him Fresh Prince. He's always going to be the Fresh Prince to me. Dope either way. But I'm going to respect if I met him, I'll call him Will, but it is what it is. But I want you to understand this. They boycotted that Grammys because the Grammy Awards presentation for DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were not going to be televised. Okay, because I love hip hop and the people who I was in concert with, we loved hip hop. Yeah, man, let's boycott this, man. They ain't respecting us. We knew, but blah, blah, blah. But hip hop is no longer a new genre. Hip hop is the most popular genre on earth right now. It's bigger than rock. It's bigger than jazz. It's bigger than blues. It's bigger than R&B. It's bigger than soul. It's bigger than soft rock. It's the biggest thing in the world. You cannot see a commercial you can't see 3 commercials without 2 of them being in some concert of hip hop. It's hip hop. It's gonna be some hip hop in the back. Hip hop, and I'm gonna address that in the second wall. Hip hop is the deal, and this is the part I was talking about. Scraps. If hip hop is the biggest genre in the world, and every time I turn around, you either play some hip hop in the back of a traditional movie, hip hop in the back of a white centric movie, definitely some hip hop in a black centric movie, or what have you. Hip hop is everywhere. Why is it that we didn't see Killer Mike on the Grammys? Why did we have to find out that Mike was on the Grammys? That Mike swept it. We found out on Twitter. Everybody, we love it. It's dope. But those are scraps. See, then, as my man Walt just mentioned, shout out to Walt in the chat room. Thank you for the support always, bro. As Walt, Jay-Z gave a speech up, and it was a poignant speech. But here's the thing. How is it that Jay-Z getting the Dr. Dre Award at the Grammy Awards, waving his finger at the Grammys? Why were you even there? How is it that I'm one of the biggest stars in the world? My wife is arguably the biggest star in the world. I represent the biggest culture in the world. And we are on tape delay. That makes no sense, does it? When you think about it, how am I receiving the Dr. Dre Award in a pre-recording situation? I mean, they got other things. So when you're the biggest, you're on front stage. You're on front and center. We can go back 100 years. We can go back to Lena Horne. We can go back to Ella Fitzgerald. We can go back to the Big Band era, Duke Ellington. We can go to Cab Calloway. When they showed up, their name was on Sarah Vaughan. Their name were on the marquee. It wasn't the white people who are less popular, and then those people. It was Dizzy Gillespie was gonna be here tonight. Miles Davis gonna be here tonight. James Brown gonna be here tonight. And guess what? Here's the crazy part. David Bowie. David Bowie said he wouldn't exist if it wasn't for for R&B and black music. Elton John said the same thing. The Beatles said the same thing. The Rolling Stones named themselves after a Muddy Water song. So how is it that after all that, if they can do it in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and the 70s, how is Jay-Z and Dr. Dre, two of the biggest moguls in all of hip-hop, two of hip-hop's billionaires, how y'all on tape delay? Why are you accepting an award on tape delay? Because guess what? Super Bowl, halftime show start fading. Now people start turning. That's when people like yours truly start getting up, going to pee. And up until this year be my first halftime show watch. Yeah. I didn't see Dr. Dre in the moments, but guess what? It was because of Jay-Z. So Jay-Z brought life back to the halftime show. Jay-Z brought life to hip-hop. Jay-Z is shining the light on hip-hop. His wife is shutting the world down. When you say Beyonce, the whole world stands up and say the best. They saying she's rivaling the great Michael Jackson, God rest his soul. And I'm on tape delay? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. Oh, you're giving me the Dr. Dre Award. And me and Dr. Dre, how you allow them to use your name to attract black eyes? Because y'all know we're going to support Dre because we love Fifth. We love G-Unit. We love Nate Dogg. We love Snoop Dogg. We love Ice Cube. We love all that West Coast. We love West Coast in the house, all that. But you're going to use my name and not even give me actual airtime? And Jay, what you said was dope. Mad respect to Jay-Z. Jay-Z, what you said was honorable. It was respectable. It was commendable. But you were on tape delay, and most people from the community didn't even see it. You have to go online to see it. So I have the biggest, one of the biggest names, if not the two biggest names in all of hip hop today. Two of the biggest names in the culture. One so big that you took the time to name an award after me. And you gave it to a dude who rivals my popularity. And you didn't even put it on TV. Again, we accepting the scraps, presenting them as something else. What's up, number one Chief Rocket Jersey Brown in the building? Thank you for the support. Hit that thumbs up, hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend and tell a friend. Yes, exactly. TC, tell your husband I say what's up. And this is what I'm talking about. Scraps. These are scraps. And and if you don't really put thought into it, you'll go, man, yeah, Jay-Z, like my man Walt, one of the most intelligent brothers I know. Man, he got out on that speech, but who saw the speech? We put it up on YouTube, we put it up on Facebook, and it may go viral at some point. And we go, yeah, he told him. But what about in the moment? In the moment. That's what we need to be doing. See, again, guess what? We take our eyes off the Grammys. I guarantee you, if Dr. Dre would have, just imagine if Jay-Z was up there, or if the person up there next year says, the only reason I'm standing here getting this Dr. Dre award is because I'm live. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be here. And I would advise y'all not to do it as well. See, this is what's happening. This is how you take control of your own destiny. This is how you grab the bull by the horns and you say, nothing's happening without me. We must start to take control in that form, shape, and fashion. Unless you just like being oppressed. And I don't think any of us like being oppressed. I really don't. See, one of the true greatest statements I've ever heard, the only way evil triumphs is if good people do nothing. The only way evil triumphs is if good people do nothing. If we continue as good people, we continue to do nothing, we continue to suffer. If we continue to do nothing, we continue to suffer. And that's what they are banking on. They're banking on shows like this never coming to fruition. They're banking on nobody tuning in to H-Rap. You know, he's a blowhard, blah, 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 this, that, the third. And nobody pays attention. But guess what? The few hundred people that's going to see this week, y'all going to tell people, you know what? I was listening to this guy H-Rap and he said it. And hopefully it'll spread like wildfire. And this is what we have to do. Now, because a lot of us are up in age, we're entering the middle age era and other things that are, you know, injuries and things of that nature. I'm going to put, you know, every week I told you, we're going to do health, we're going to do wealth, we're going to do wisdom. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Shout out to Karen Hunter for that. I stole that from Karen Hunter. Yes, indeed, I did. Yes, indeed, I did. But we're going to do that on this program as well, simply because it's time. If you don't know who Karen Hunter is, you're going to know who H-Rap is. You don't know who, and then when I'm getting information from her, and then I'm getting information from the Read Down Your Favors, Roland Martin, and some other people, and other news organizations that I trust, and then we'll move forward and make ourselves relevant. I'm going to give you this thing in regards to pain relief. Pain relief. First week we did, I did some things about women, and it helped with their breathing. Last week I did something else about health. What did I do last week? I can't remember what I did last week. Flow. Everything with flow. And then this week, you know, I gave you fruits and things to help your blood flow, help your blood pressure, and things of that nature, diabetes, fight away diabetes. And this week, we're going to do pain relief because a lot of us, we're getting, these joints are getting all creaky and rickety. And now we're going to help you with that. I'll be back shortly.
Natural pain relievers. Pain is a common and often debilitating condition that affects millions of people worldwide. Pain can be caused by a wide range of factors, including injury, illness, and chronic conditions. While there are many conventional pain-relieving treatments available, such as over-the-counter pain relievers and prescription medications, some individuals prefer to turn to natural remedies for relief. So here are 5 natural pain relievers that have been shown to be effective in reducing pain and inflammation. Number 1, Boswellia. This is an herbal extract that comes from the Boswellia tree. It has been used for centuries in traditional medicine to treat a variety of conditions, including pain and inflammation. Boswellia contains compounds called boswellic acids that are believed to have anti-inflammatory properties, making it a potentially effective natural pain reliever. Research has shown that Boswellia supplements can help reduce joint pain and stiffness associated with conditions such as osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Number 2, cloves. Cloves are a spice that have long been used in traditional medicine for their pain-relieving properties. Cloves contain eugenol, a natural compound that has been shown to have analgesic and anti-inflammatory effects. Research has shown that clove oil can be applied topically to reduce toothache pain, and that clove supplements can help to reduce joint pain and stiffness. Number 3, heat and ice. Heat and ice are simple and inexpensive natural pain relievers that have been used for centuries. The application of heat can help to increase blood flow to the affected area and relieve pain, while the application of ice can help to reduce swelling and numb the area. Both heat and ice can be used for a variety of conditions, including muscle strains, sprains, and arthritis pain. Number 4, turmeric. Turmeric is a spice that is commonly used in Indian cuisine, but it also has a long history of use in traditional medicine for its anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, which is believed to be responsible for its medicinal effects. Research has shown that turmeric supplements can help reduce joint pain and stiffness, as well as relieve pain associated with conditions such as osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Number 5, acupuncture. Acupuncture is a form of traditional Chinese medicine that involves the insertion of fine needles into specific points on the body. Acupuncture has been used for thousands of years to treat a variety of conditions, including pain. Research has shown that acupuncture can help to reduce pain and improve function in individuals with conditions such as osteoarthritis, low back pain, and neck pain. In conclusion, natural pain relievers offer a safe and effective alternative to traditional pain medications, which can often come with unwanted side effects. It is important to remember that these remedies may not work for everyone, and it is always recommended to consult with a doctor to determine the cause of the pain.
I don't know what happened there, and I ain't gonna continue to deal with these technical difficulties. This is your man Edge Rob. This is Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up the community, destroy the lies and propaganda that surround our community. That was the end of the video, and basically what I'm doing is providing things that could potentially maintain our health, add to our health, and put ourselves in a better situation health-wise. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tune in. Thank you. Now, with that being said, as you see across the screen, donations are available. I'm here for the donations. I'm here for the help. You know, I told y'all I was going to be begging now. I'm begging every week. That's how I'm doing. Yes, indeed. But, basically to continue to help me, help you, help me, help you, and do things moving forward. I do a lot of charitable events in the community, so it's not just going to go on my pocket. It's going to go towards the betterment of the podcast. Maybe I can get a higher class of internet. But with that being said, I want to close out the show with a principle from Islam. I know Muslims, the boogeyman of the world. You don't want to deal with the Muslims. They crazy, right? No, we're not going to do that. But it's this thing called the 12 jewels. 12 jewels are the 12 principles of life, 12 things that'll help you with your life. And the 12 jewels off right at the top of the head is knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, love, food, clothing, shelter, love, peace, and happiness. How do you apply those things to your life? You apply those things for your life. Knowledge. Let's start with the very first principle. Knowledge. Knowledge isn't just knowledge of self. I'm a black man. I'm the first man. We're going to do that. Knowledge is knowledge of the law, knowledge of civics, knowledge of who you are, and knowledge of the things that you can do to make yourself and your lives better. We must share these things. If you have something that can help me and I have something that can help you, we must exchange. That is knowledge. That is the knowledge that we need, because you've been told that you're less than for centuries. For decades and centuries, you've been told you're less than. Knowledge. Here's a piece of it. Imagine the time of the world is a clock. Just imagine that. If every second in the world that is happening is a clock from 12 all the way around to 12. If you think about the period of enslavement and being here in North America, the black man under the oppression of the European man and in the system that is called white supremacy, that's probably about 3 to 5 minutes. And that on that clock of 24 hours, 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes is what takes up the time that we've been in America compared to the world's history. Compared to the world's history, 3 to 5 minutes. So when you have knowledge, you'll understand that your people are coming to and fro, back and forth to North and South America, to what they call Antarctica and the South Pole, and all throughout Europe and all throughout Asia. We've been walking this world for eons. So that is the knowledge. That knowledge affords you the ability to know that you're not limited to calling yourself a descendant of a slave. A slave is a status, not a human. And enslaved free. Being enslaved is a status. You're not a descendant of a slave. You are a descendant of a person who was captured and enslaved. Now, wisdom. Wisdom is to be able to process that information, share that information, understand that information, chew up the meat, spit out the bones kind of deal. Shout out to Karen Hunt, stole that from her too. But you want to take in the information, process it, use it for the betterment of you and your family, you and your friends, and that is wisdom. Because it may not be applicable today, but it may be applicable down the road. And then at that point, you'll be able to regurgitate it. As I mentioned, the computer early in the program, you'll have the ability to regurgitate that information in a useful fashion at a later date. That is wisdom. Understanding that you must have knowledge in order to use that wisdom and understand what the purpose is. You don't have to shine at every party. You don't have to be the center of attention. Every concert, you don't need to sing the loudest. Every event, you don't have to win all awards. You must celebrate your friends and family. Understand that you are a cog in a machine. Understanding that nothing can stop you. So in order for me to shine, you can shine, I can shine, and I'll shed light on you, and we both can shine. Understanding that even though I'm gonna help you right now, even though I have and you don't, understanding is planting a seed of a tree, walking around and just plant, eating an apple. Take some of the seeds and put those seeds in the ground. Why? I mean, I'm not gonna see that tree grow, but guess what? Somebody before you planted a tree. And that's a metaphoric tree that I'm speaking of. You're teaching your children so they can teach your grandchildren, and they can teach their grandchildren. Now, you notice how they say you're teaching your children so they can teach their children. You're teaching your children so they can teach their grandchildren. And it's a cyclical situation where we're marching towards victory. And that's what the understanding is. Understanding everything that you're living for is for the future, not for now. The next thing is freedom, justice, equality. Freedom. People think of freedom as I'm no longer in justice. I'm no longer in bondage. I got freedom. Freedom is the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You have the freedom. Look, freedom can show up in a wicked way. You have the freedom to punch somebody in their mouth if they want to, if you want to. That's your choice. Now, with that comes justice. So you have the freedom to open up a business. You have the freedom to go get a job. You have the freedom to do a podcast. You have the freedom to express yourself. You have the freedom to sing. You have the freedom to dance. You have the freedom to love people. You have the freedom to do all those things. And again, you have freedom to do things poorly as well. But when you do those things, you have justice. Justice will bring about balance. So if you do choose to do something nefarious, if you do choose to strike out in a violent way, justice equals that out. You punch H-Rap in the face, he's going to kick you in the mouth. Oh, man, you overreacted. Nah, I didn't. If you keep your hands to yourself, you won't get that backlash. Now you have that remembrance. And guess what? And when I lash back out at you, it creates equality. Because you assumed that you had the right to kill Emmett Till. You assumed that you had the right to enslave Black people. You assumed that you had the right to discriminate against Black people. But if we remove our dollars from these oppressive, discriminatory, and unhinged behaviors and create a tent, we create a tent and build like a tent with a teepee. You have a tent and you just bring things around that tent and you create your own circle and you remove those dollars from them. That brings about equality because, oh, you don't want to rent me a home? I'll go over here and rent from one of my brothers, one of my sisters, or I buy property around one of my brothers and sisters. And now that brings about equality because, yeah, you wouldn't hire me, but guess what? I didn't get hired downtown Chicago, but I'm going to come back to my community and invest in my community. And now all my people are no longer going to Gary's Pop, we going to What's Poppin' on 115th and the West, Black-owned business. Now it's equality because, I could get hired at Gary. I'm at What's Poppin'. Now What's Poppin' has 15 locations and it's even. Oh, you don't want to let me shop in Jewel? Okay, we're going to go to Buddy Bear. It's a blast from the past if you're on the west side of Chicago. Equality. That brings about equality. Then, guess what? If you have equality, now you can get food, clothing, and shelter. Food, sustenance, so you can eat and continue to be strong. that turmeric that I just showed you, but not just food for your body, food for your mind. So you're going to read books so you can maintain that knowledge, use that wisdom, and have understanding. So, and then you going to feed your spirit, food for your spirit. You're going to read that Bible. You're going to read that Quran. You're going to read the Torah, or whatever however you connect with your higher power. You're going to read that and get, again, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to free your mind. And then you get justice and equality, because once you get that spiritual factor in, God gonna protect you. He's gonna you're gonna feed yourself to God, and that brings you, and that's that food and clothing. Remember, I said food, clothing, and shelter. That's food for your mind and your spirit. Clothing, again, it's not just physical cloth on your body. That's that shelter of the protection of your deity. Whether you call him God, Jehovah Jireh, Jesus, Muhammad, or what have you. I'm not here to tell you if you're right or wrong, because whatever's working for you, that's working for you. Don't let anybody else take you off that position. That's your business. That's between you and your creator. But then you have the shelter. That's the clothing. You clothing yourself with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of your creator. And he's giving you freedom to be the best person you can be. Justice, because you can do what you want to do and when you want to do it, and you respond. And equality, because God empowered you to be equal to anybody on this earth. God didn't make any blanks. You might be good at math. I might be good at science. You might be good at technology. I might be good at as a mechanic. There it is. Now, that's those principles. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, and shelter. The Lord will protect you. It will shelter you from all the foolishness and the madness of the world, all the wicked things in the world. You'll have shelter from that, because you'll be able to see that foolishness coming from a mile away. You don't have to lash out. That's why vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You don't have to lash out, because they put that negative energy is going to follow them. And then they try to hurt you. I show him, I show her. Now, that energy going to show you. Again, food, clothing, and shelter. And then once you have those things, you have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, and shelter. And then you have love for yourself. You love yourself so you can love him or her. When you love yourself, you love him or her. Then you can love your children. Then you can love your neighbors, because you have to love yourself first. In order to screw somebody over, there's something missing inside of you. So when there's something missing inside of you, you got to reach out and hurt somebody, because you want them to feel that pain that you're feeling. So there it is. That's that love. Then you got peace, because when you're throwing that love out there, you loving yourself, and then it radiates off you, and it grabs hold of somebody else. And that now you got that love in it, and that's peace, because you loving you, you loving her, and you loving him, and you loving them, and that whole family comes together. And this is a cyclical situation. You loving on them, and they loving on you. You loving on them, and they loving on you. And then guess what happens after that? Happiness. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, peace, justice, and equality, food, clothing, and shelter, love, peace, and happiness. These are the 12 jewels that I named the show for. This is why I do this show every week, because I have those things. I'm working towards those things. Some of them I have in my possession. Some of them I'm working towards, and all of them I practice every day. I practice them every day. You can contact anybody. I don't lie about loving nobody, because if I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. I don't. But I don't hate you. I just have to separate myself from you. If you're in my circle, you're in my circle. If I F with you, I'm stuck with you. And that's just the way I get down. What I want you to understand is these are principles that we need to adapt in our everyday life. Exactly. There you go, TC. Yep, there it is. There it is. Thank you, TT, for the support. Hit that like button if you haven't. Hit that share button if you haven't. Please play this a million times so I can get $1 million and I can help you even more. But I just definitely need everybody to do these things, because without this is how we create balance. Yeah, those are Muslim principles. Nah, man, I don't participate in Islam stuff. Okay, well, that's cool. That's cool. I need you to understand that you don't have to participate in something to pay homage to it. You don't have to be a Muslim for a Muslim principle to benefit you. You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior in order for Jesus to help you. Everything is here for your benefit. The Creator made it all. And even the Bible said when Jesus sent those men out and they came back, we saw people worshiping this way. We told them not to. He said, no, I have flock. I have sheep of other flocks. That means we are going to come together at some point. Let them worship that way and you worship your way. Don't tell somebody how to worship and believe in the Lord. With that being said, I'm going to give a shout out as I do every week to everybody in the chat room. I really appreciate it. Share, tell a friend, subscribe. Tell a friend to tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And guess what? I may start doing pre-recording because if I do the pre-recording, you can get it anytime you want. You can get it anytime you want now. I want to salute to Willie D and the Ghetto Boys, Tariq Nasheed, Nori, Talib Kweli, Zoe Williams, Sway Calloway, Roland Martin, Al Sharpton, Clay Kane, my personal favorite, read down your favorites, Dr. Greg Carr, one of the most informed individuals. I get a lot of my information from Dr. Carr, and the dean of it all, the Queen Karen Hunter. Before I tune out, I want to send a rest in peace to the Black Eagle, Joe Madison, one of my favorite radio personalities. This dude is paramount. Anything that you've liked on my program, he's giving me information. He's giving me books. He's giving me sources, the source of things. He's giving me and he's given me the ability to be able to stand up in front of you every week and spew out my opinions and understand that I fact check these things. I've given these things to you. This week was a lot of opinion, but what I want you to do is understand Joe Madison has transitioned to the ancestral realm. It's not a sad situation. He's with the Lord. So therefore, he's in paradise. But we never want to forget him. And we're going to say his name, Joe Madison. We're going to say his name, Joe Madison. We're going to say his name, Joe Madison, so he can live forever. Salute to his beautiful wife, Sherry. Miss Sherry, thank you, Miss Sherry, for sharing your husband with us since, I don't even know, he was the youngest president of NAACP in Detroit. And he's been doing God's work since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010s, and now in the 2020s. He's expired in 2024. Rest in power, rest in peace. May God continue to bless the Madison family. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow. Hold My Bill Sports. I'll be on 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Same bat channel. I'll be at the end of the bench media. If you want to participate, subscribe. I'll be here. Go to YouTube, subscribe. Go to www.theendofthebench.com and subscribe. Subscribe everywhere you can. Support your guy. Support me. I really need it. Thank you. 2 fingers, 1 word. This your man H-Rap, and Big Mo is about to take me out.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes now, as people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him 2 to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth in the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. It's all a game.